Hi everybody, it's Mrs. Sullivan. I'm going to read from our chapter from our book Liberty. The chapter is called Lobsterbacks. On Friday, September 30th, 1768, Paul Revere wrote, "The ships of war arrived. The soldiers landed on Long Wharf. They formed and marched with insolent parade, drums beating, fifes playing, up King Street. The sun shone on their brightly polished boots and shining muskets. The redcoats were an impressive sight. But it wasn't all that comfortable to be a British soldier. Their red wool jackets were hot and itchy. Their white pants were so tight that they had to be put on wet. Then as they dried, they got even tighter and pinched cruelly. A redcoat had to pass inspection each morning. Washing wasn't necessary, but he had to shave. He had to clean and polish his boots, buttons, and buckles. Then he braided his hair in a long pigtail, powdered it with white flour, and dipped the end in animal grease. How he smelled awful." We'll pause and read the next part. All right, everyone, let's continue. Soldiering was a terrible life. Redcoats were paid only about 8 pence, which equals to 2 cents a day. If they didn't keep their uniforms clean, they were whipped. A soldier who tried to desert was likely to be executed. Sometimes he had to stand next to his coffin while the firing squad took aim at him. And if he escaped, Indians might be sent after him with orders to bring back his scalp. Life in the British Army was difficult, and redcoats were certainly not welcomed in Boston. Girls turned up their noses, men sneered, and little boys ran after groups of red-jacketed soldiers, screaming, "Lobsterbacks! Bloodybacks! Go home!" I'd like to read under the caption where you see one of the soldiers being whipped. "A cat o' nine tails was a whip made of 9 knotted ropes or leather thongs fastened to a handle. Soldiers were punished by being whipped on their bare backs." And then towards the bottom of the page, there's another picture with that has a little bit more information about the redcoats. Redcoats received very low pay. To earn extra money, some hired themselves out to be farmers and storekeepers in their free hours. All right, just one last part here. Sometimes a married redcoat was allowed to bring his wife and children along. They were given a small amount of food. In return, the women cooked, washed, and nursed the sick and wounded men. Whenever the redcoats moved to a new camp, their families went with them. Little children were often present when bloody battles took place. Thank you, everybody.